What's up, everyone? It's Nicole here, and today we're going over part two. Part two of our business vlog series. We're going to be talking about how to turn your hobby of baking into a business and how to get licensed as a home bakery. So let's get started. So before we get started, if you guys did not watch part one, I recommend going back to that. That's where we talked about cottage food operations in general, what they are, to whom you can sell, and what you can sell. So go back, check that out if you haven't already, just to know if this is something that is right for you and what you bake at home. So once you know this is your path, this is what you want to do, let's talk about how we can achieve our goals. All right, so let's get started on how to get a license for your home bakery. I'm gonna try to give a nice timeline for you so you can figure out how long it'll take you before you can start selling your product. So first things first, if you are operating under a name that is not your legal name and like what you're doing, so if you're Avery and you have Avery's Bakery, you're fine. That is a great name to have. And you don't have to get a fictitious name. But if you're like me and you have a fictitious name like Toujours, you will have to get that registered with your county registrar's office. And what this is you're just publicly declaring that you are operating under this name and your location. So what you have to do is you search a whole database and make sure no one else is operating under the same name. You pay a fee, and then you have to get it published in a local newspaper for 4 weeks consecutively. So this is something to remember if you are working under a fictitious name or a DBA, doing business as, they're the same thing. You're gonna wanna account for these 4 weeks that you have to wait for you to be able to do business under that name. Once you have your DBA or your fictitious name, then you can go get your business license. And your business license will be with your local city hall. Now, not every single city or county makes you get a business license, so make sure you check if you want to call straight to your environmental health department and see if they require it. Pasadena does require a business license, but I have heard some jurisdictions do not. So double check before you go into this whole process. So when you're getting a business license, in Pasadena, you also need a home occupation permit, allowing just your home to be your office and to use it as business. They make you pay another fee to have a permit for that. With that, if you're renting like we are, you have to get your landlord's permission as well. So if you're trying to sell for a certain event, make sure you think about the timeline of everything and get started right away. So once you get your home occupation permit done, that takes about 48 hours to get a zoning officer to clear you for doing business out of your home. Then your application will go to the business department, and that takes about 15 days to get you in the mail your hard copy of your business license. So that's really exciting when you get that in the mail. Once you get that, you feel very official. But let me get rid of that giddiness of how exciting it is to establish yourself as a business, and let's go forward with what to do next. So once you have that all under your belt, move forward with your cottage food license. So the actual ability to sell your product. So you're gonna wanna call your local environmental health department. Make sure when you call them, you tell them where you live and you double check that that is the right jurisdiction for you. Because I actually sent in my application and my money to Los Angeles County, and they sent it back to me, thankfully. A woman called me and said, you know what, Pasadena actually has its own environmental health department, so I sent you the money back. She's like, not everyone does that, and so I was lucky because that's $100 and something that could have been gone. So they sent it back to me. She was very gracious, and I should have checked. Once you know that you're in the right place and you're applying to the right department, you can move forward with the application. They usually have a checklist of everything you need to fill out in order to get your cottage food operation. And this is where it includes, your business license, and you'll already have that. You'll need to know your menu. And one of the hardest things, the things that got me stuck on this application process, was the labels. So the labels seem daunting, especially if you have a macaron business with lots of flavor options. You have to do a label for every single different flavored cupcake, every different flavored macaron, every different flavored lollipop. Whatever you're selling, you have to do a label for each one. So you want to keep your menu limited at first. I feel like that definitely helped me streamline things and know, you can see what customers like in the very beginning after the whole process, and then you can add as you go on. I have read that some counties make you pay for added flavors or products that you're selling. I have not run into this before. I sent in my labels every week when I was making a new label for a different season or whatnot. I changed my menu frequently at my farmers markets. So I never got charged for that. They'd always just send me a thank you email back. I never got denied or anything like that. So I was able to, on the daily, send in more labels. So don't feel like you're stuck in the menu. Just pick your favorite things and what your heart is set on for selling, and then you can expand later. These labels have certain rules where you have to have 12-point font that says home bakery. You have to have your permit number, your business name, and then by weight, the ingredients of your product. So labels, yes, they seem daunting. If you guys look below in the description, we'll link to a good sample of what a label should look like when you are sending these in to your environmental health department. Another recommendation is to transfer all of your recipes into weight. If you don't already have them in grams, do so now, and it will be a lot easier to put your nutritional facts on there. So you don't have to say it's 50 calories. You just have to put by weight the ingredients, and it really helps if you already have everything weighed out, and it's a breeze. So those are my 2 tips. Convert those recipes into grams. I know, I'm a stickler. And to start small in your menu. Now, let's move on to the home inspection aspect of doing a cottage food operation. If you are a Class B, if you're applying for a Class B license, you will need a home inspection before you get your permit. So that means an environmental health department worker comes in and they will check your environment, where you're working, to make sure it is sound. So you have certain regulations, just like a restaurant has, that you will need to abide by. You have to have sanitation. You have to sanitize all of your dishes in a certain way. You need to have this is for a Class A too, but this is what the inspector is looking when they come into your home. You need to have a designated place for your work products. So your flour needs to be labeled and in a different spot than what you use for your home. Everything's separate for your business. You're even supposed to have a separate area to store. So I have my deep freezer, and that's where I store all of my macarons, and I don't put other products in my freezer. When I am getting things out and maturing them, I do put them in my fridge, but I have a shelf that I will put specifically for my macarons. If you need to, you can get another refrigerator to keep them separated. And just to put it out there, I have a Class A license. They say to be ready for anyone to come. They have the right to come and check my residence at any point during my working hours. I never had someone come and check my residence, but it could happen to you. I'm not saying they don't. I just never had anybody do that here. So whether or not you're getting a home inspection, it is good to operate in the cleanliest manner possible. So you're gonna want to know all your food safety. And that leads us into another part of the application. You actually have to do a food safety course, which I think is awesome. If you're working in restaurants, you have to do it. So why wouldn't we have to do it? You want to be held to the same standards as restaurants because we want to be taken seriously. And these kinds of courses, you can either do a manager one, which is a little bit higher of a level, or just a food handler's course. And I think they give you 3 months to do that once you get your permit, and you're good to go. That's about all you need for the checklist of the cottage food operation aspect of things. The food handler's course just basically tells you keep hot food hot, cold food cold, not to wear nail polish. Just it keeps you at the same standard as restaurants. So this is a great stepping stone. It's exciting. I like to think of it as exciting instead of as daunting. So I feel like it just makes you so legitimate to have these things under your belt, to know how to operate properly and safely, and to protect, obviously, environmental health department is there to protect the people. We want to be able to put a product out there that's not going to get people sick, and it's really important to take that seriously. So let's recap really fast. For this whole thing to get licensed, first, if you're not operating under your legal name, you're going to want to get a fictitious name or a DBA, doing business as. Second, you're going to go to your local city hall and get your business license. And if you need to, they will let you know if you need to go to the zoning department to get your home occupation permit. Once that's all figured out, you'll go to your environmental health department and fill out the application for your cottage food operation license. And that's your license to sell, baby. All right, guys, so that completes our second business vlog on how to license your home bakery and how to bless your community with your delicious treats. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like it down below if you did. And as always, comment down below with further questions. Peace out. I'm a chef. Really didn't want to eat that.